What's up guys, how's it going? I just made it here to Germany and I'm pretty stoked about it, but as you can tell behind me, I gotta hang out here in quarantine for another 10 days or so. Today I'm gonna be bringing you guys episode 5 of the TACP Pipeline, my time as a TACP instructor at Lackland Air Force Base, but more importantly, talking about what instructors like to see from students and some of the biggest mistakes that we see students make in their time in the TACP Pipeline. Now I hope you guys enjoy episode 5, my time as a TACP instructor. Yeah, can I go get my yard time today? Dopeness. Alright, thank you. Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm back. Freedom! At Fort Bliss, I had just completed ALS and I had just become a staff sergeant. In May of 2016, I PCS'd over to Lackland, where I was an instructor at Battle from May of 2016 until January of 2017 when I went over to be a TACP prep instructor. I wasn't a TACP prep instructor for long before they moved me over to basic training, and I was in basic training from March of 2017 until sometime in the summer of 2017, at which point I was going to basic training every day, but I was also working the curriculum for the Battlefield Airman Prep, which then later became the Special Warfare Prep. Myself and 7 other people helped stand up the Special Warfare Prep from ground up, and we laid the foundation for what Special Warfare Prep is today. I instructed at Special Warfare Prep for a few classes, and then I got moved back over to TACP Prep in January of 2018, where from January 2018 until August of 2019, I was mostly in TACP Prep, but I would also go back and forth between TACP Prep and Special Warfare Prep. And then occasionally I would help out with the Combat Control, Pararescue, and Special Reconnaissance assessment and selection when they needed extra instructors. But again, I spent the bulk of my time in TACP Prep. Alright, I'm getting out of here. If you guys are watching my videos and you like what you see, stop messing around, hit the subscribe button, help a brother out, transition. I was an instructor for 3 years, so I understand some of the characteristics that are needed to make it through the pipeline. So now I'm going to discuss some of the keys to success to make it through the pipeline and some of the biggest mistakes that I saw that caused people to wash out of the TACP pipeline. Here are my 5 biggest keys to success. Be a good teammate, come fit, make checklists, check your teammates, and lastly, have fun. First, be a good teammate. Make sure that your stuff is always squared away so that you're not getting the team smoked. When people do start to mess up, help them out, move on from it, because someday you may be the one who's messing up and you don't want to be at each other's throats. Some of the worst teams that I saw were teams that just couldn't work together. You'd have 1 or 2 guys mess up something small and then the whole team would just crack and crumble. If you guys have a good team relationship and good team dynamics, things are just going to run smoothly, you're going to be able to work together, and then you're going to be able to accomplish tasks faster and better than teams who are always at each other's throats. Be the guy that people want to work with, and be the guy that people want to be around. It's going to make your time in the TACP training just that much more enjoyable. Next, come in shape. The TACP pipeline is very physical, and when you're not able to keep up on the PT events, the instructors are just going to crush you and make you do more, which is going to make your teammates hate you, and then you're potentially going to be doing more PT that's going to cause you to fail later PT events because you're going to be so tired and fatigued because you couldn't keep up in the first place. The instructors are going to make you do more if you can't keep up with your team. So when you come to the training, come in shape, and then while you're in the training, stay in shape, because the instructors are always going to call you out if you are not keeping up in the physical aspect. Next, stick to checklists. Your gear is going to have to be laid out a certain way. You're going to have to label your equipment a certain way. Your weapon has to be labeled a certain way. You need to wear your gear properly, and you need to tie off your equipment properly to your equipment. You need to know where everything is in your rucksack. You need to make sure that everything is in your rucksack before you go to PT in the morning. So have a checklist. Before you leave every morning, make sure you shaved. Make sure you put all your stuff in your rucksack. Make sure you have extra uniforms. Make sure all your canteens are topped off. All your equipment is tied off. Make sure that you do checklists every single day to make sure that you don't forget anything. This is going to be extremely important out in the field when you're more stressed and you have a lot more things to worry about and a lot more things going on. You need to have a checklist at all times, just making sure you're constantly doing the right things, but also foreseeing what you need to do in the future and just making sure that you are doing the necessary steps to get these tasks done. You also want to check your teammates, especially if you're in some sort of leadership role. When you have teammates who say they do something, just go check what they did. Every morning when you're laying out your gear before PT or in the classroom, just have your buddy check you. Check your buddy. Have someone on your team that you can rely on who's always going to make sure that you're doing the right thing, and make sure that your buddies are always going to be doing the right thing, because if they mess up, you're going to have to pay for it. Lastly, have fun. Bring the energy. The instructors are going to try to crush you. They're going to try to break your spirit. Be the guy who's always positive. Be the guy who's always energetic. It's going to be rough waking up every day at like 4:30 in the morning, every single day. It's going to be a grind. You're going to be tired. You're going to be fatigued. Your muscles are going to be sore. But every single day, you need to bring the energy to your team and make people want to be there, make people want to succeed, and make yourself want to do good. If you enjoy the moments in the suck, it's only going to be that much better throughout the pipeline. You're allowed to have fun in the TACP schoolhouse. You're allowed to have a personality. One thing I will say with that is don't overstep your boundaries with the instructors, and don't get cocky, because the instructors are going to crush you. But you are certainly allowed to have fun. There were times as an instructor where I'd just be crushing the flights, and there'd be one or two guys that are just pumped up and motivated, getting their teammates around them to want to do good. And then there were also times where we were crushing students and the whole flight just looked like dead zombies and didn't want to do anything. And we just crushed them more for it because they weren't motivated, they didn't want to work, they didn't want to do anything. If you show some motivation and show that you want to be there, even in the worst of times, it's going to help you through. Now I'm going to discuss some of the biggest mistakes that I saw students make in my time as an instructor. First is attention to detail. Second, not being able to cut it physically. And lastly, simply just quitting. The biggest mistake that gets most people to fail the TACP pipeline is attention to detail items. And attention to detail items can solely be fixed by creating those checklists in your head and executing them. Now, some of the ways that people fail attention to detail items is because they don't study, they don't know the material enough to be able to exceed when they get to that situation. People don't cut out distractions, so when instructors are stressing them out, they don't know how to react, and they simply just forget things because they can't cut out distraction and move on with the task at hand. Also, if you aren't thinking about the TACP pipeline, if you have other distractions elsewhere like family, your friends, or things outside of the academics and the training, you need to try to cut out distractions as much as possible, because that's going to help you in the TACP training just to solely focus on going through the TACP pipeline. Next is always thinking about the next task that you have to do and what items you're going to need to be able to accomplish that task. Another mistake that I see is people just simply not taking care of themselves. They're not doing the right things on their downtime to prepare themselves as mentally and physically as possible to get them through the TACP pipeline. You need to be practicing proper nutrition, eat the right things, fuel your body properly to be able to perform in PT and throughout the TACP pipeline. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep every single night. You're gonna have to wake up early every morning at around 4 o'clock, so you need to be going to bed at around 8 o'clock. Get to bed really early, put down your phones, don't play video games. Make time to get the sleep that you need to get the proper recovery at night. You need to be getting enough sleep. You need to be able to recover. And you also need to be practicing the right recovery. So if you can get into an ice bath, you should be stretching every single night. You should be rolling out, doing yoga sessions on your own, just making sure that you are taking care of your body. A lot of people get injured in the TACP pipeline, and a lot of people can't hack it physically for the sole fact that they don't take care of themselves and they're not doing the right thing on their downtime. If you're hurting, if you're tired, don't be fatigued and get the rest that you need. Lastly, another big mistake that I see is people just simply quitting. And quitting comes from people not keeping their eye on the prize, people not having a good sense of why they want to be in the TACP schoolhouse in the first place. So when you're getting to those dark places and those dark times, you should never have quitting in your mind. If you do, you're not going to make it through the TACP pipeline. But that thought creeps up on people when things get hard, when things get tough, when they're tired, when they're cold out in the field, when they haven't got enough sleep, when they're completely exhausted physically from all the PT that they're doing. because they don't keep in the back of their mind of why they want to be a TACP. Always have that in your mind. For me, I had my family, I had my friends back home, and there was no way in hell I was gonna go quit and call my parents and tell them that I didn't make it because I quit on myself. Everything that you're doing in the pipeline is doable. Just suck it up, remember why you're there, and remember that once you get out of the training, you have one of the best jobs in the military. Now I discuss some of the biggest keys to success when entering the TACP pipeline and some of the biggest mistakes that I saw as my time as an instructor there. I hope this is good information for you guys. I hope this helps prep you if you're attempting to go into the TACP pipeline. If you have another key to success, or if you have another thing that you think people mess up on when they go through the TACP pipeline, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. Next week is gonna be a really good episode. Next week is gonna be how to best prepare for the TACP pipeline. More importantly, focusing on the PT aspect of it. I'm gonna give you guys 2 really good programs that you can follow. Thank you guys for watching the series, and until next week, I want you guys to all stay funky.
Yeah, yeah.